holding you back from living your RV life dream? For a lot of people, it's concern about their health, it's concern about mobility issues, and one of the questions that I get a lot that I'm going to answer today is, I'm on high blood pressure medication, and I'm on all kinds of medication, and how do you get your medications on the road? And I'm going to answer that question for you today, so stay tuned. Hi friendlies, I'm Carolyn and welcome back to my life. I'm going to talk today about how to get prescriptions on the road if that is a concern for you, and I'm going to share my experience. I don't take a lot of medications, but I do take Imitrex for migraines, and when I first started, my health care service provider was Kaiser Permanente, which was in California, and my prescriptions were not transferable. So I couldn't call Kaiser and say, can you phone in a prescription to CVS in Tennessee? So they wouldn't send a prescription outside of the Kaiser Permanente system. So I'm going to share with you what I did to get my prescriptions while I was on the road. The first thing I did is, when I first started, I continued to have my residency in California. I had a UPS store address and mailbox in California. It was a mail forwarder. I went through the UPS store, and then that mail forwarder would forward my mail to me wherever I was. So that solved the problem of getting my prescriptions mailed to me out of state. They didn't have to send them out of state. They sent them to my mail forwarder in California, and then my mail forwarder sent them to me wherever I was on the road. And if you want to learn more about how I get mail on the road, click up here. I'll put it. So that's one way to do it. If you have a healthcare system provider like Kaiser Permanente that isn't like Blue Cross Blue Shield or one of the national ones where you can just have a doctor phone in a prescription wherever you are on the road, then that might be something you're going to need to do. Just get a mail forwarder in the state where your health care is, and if you can do prescriptions by mail, which I think most people can now, have your prescription mailed there. I mean, if you need and if you need prescriptions every month, that might be a challenge. But what I did, even a long time ago, is I went to my doctor and I'm like, listen, I'm going to be, out of the country for 3 months, or I'm going to be traveling for 3 months. Instead of giving me a 1 month supply, can you give me a 3 month supply? So for the rest of my life, every time I got my prescription refilled, it was 3 months instead of 1 month. So if that's an issue for you, if you need prescriptions every month, you might want to just go ahead and tell your doctor, hey, I'm traveling. It's hard for me to get my prescriptions filled. Can you give me a 3 month or maybe even a 6 month supply, so that you're not having to worry about refilling that prescription every month, which can be a little cumbersome. That's one way I would recommend managing your prescriptions. Another way is if you do have one of the national healthcare providers like Blue Cross Blue Shield or any other one, maybe even Medicare, call your doctor and get your prescription, ask if they can phone your prescription in at a pharmacy wherever you are. And sometimes, and I talk about this in my mail, in my receiving packages video, again, that's up here. Sometimes you have to plan and say, okay, well, I need my prescription in 3 weeks. Where am I going to be in 3 weeks? And call your doctor and have it phoned in. But I think pretty much these days you can call your doctor and get a prescription phoned in within a couple hours. And that should not really be a big challenge. The other thing that you can do is you can go to Mexico and get your prescriptions filled super easy. Most prescriptions, Class A or Class A1 or whatever, no narcotics, no opiates or anything like that, but your regular diabetes, my migraine medicine, most other prescription medicines you can get in Mexico. So if you're going to be a snowbird like me and hanging out in Arizona, you can just cross the border into Algodones and you can get a year's worth of prescriptions probably there. Although they say you're only allowed to bring over 3 months at a time. I've heard different experiences with that, and my experience was they didn't really check. So those are the three options for you. Have a mail forwarder in the state that your healthcare provider is in and have your prescription sent there, and then your mail forwarder can send it to you. Get a national healthcare provider that can phone a prescription in wherever you are on the road, and I think as a backup plan you can get your your prescription meds in Mexico. It was another 5-minute video. I hope it helped answer some of your questions about how to live life on the road and take care of the things that you need to take care of. If you enjoyed this video and learned something from it, I hope you'll consider subscribing below. And if you want a lot more behind the scenes bloopers, extra videos, extra travel videos, and sneak peeks and pre-releases and things like that, please consider checking out Patreon and joining our friendly community there. And until next time, be happy, be free, and be kind. Mwah.